When I came out 10 years ago, I really thought that things were going to be getting easier for gay teenagers, and man, I was wrong. Bullying's really nasty these days. So if you're watching this right now and you're having a rough time, I am sorry. I know how much it hurts and it sucks. But let me also tell you that life gets much better. Right now, you're in this bubble where everybody's trying to be just like everybody else, and if you're different for some reason, they're just going to make fun of you. But that doesn't last forever. So life gets better. So let me tell you about myself. My name's Brett. I'm a total nerd, always have been, probably always will be. Like back in third grade, I really loved to yo-yo. So I wanted to dress like Tommy Smothers with a red plaid shirt and yellow suspenders. So yeah, me and cool never really saw eye to eye on things. And I was just a really excitable kid. Like in Spanish class, I would try to speak with a really good accent. I call myself Pedro, and that didn't go over so well, and people made fun of me for that. So I could never really do anything that just let people let me be. And people even had me figured out. Like back in fifth grade, I remember someone called me a fruit. I didn't even know what that meant, so I'd ask my friend Nate, and he told me it means you're gay, Brett. So even before I had really come to terms with things, people had figured out enough to make fun of me for it. So if you're being picked on, I get it. I've been there. High school was just kind of lonely. People more or less left me alone, but didn't have all that many friends. So like on a Friday night, instead of going out and hanging out with friends or going on dates, I was at home practicing the piano. Really loved music, so I played the piano and organ throughout high school. And once I got to college, though, things got a lot better. You see, that time that I spent practicing let me go to a really good college. I got a scholarship for that. And then once I was in college, I found that people didn't care so much that I was a little bit different or that I had some eccentric interests. Some of them did too, so it wasn't such a big deal. And at that point, I made some really good friends. And it was in college, it was my junior year, that I finally came to terms with who I was and I came out. And that wasn't so bad. My friends probably, for the most part, knew. My family was a little bit shocked and it was kind of weird. But they eventually figured that out. And I had some really good boyfriends. Went in a couple relationships. Some were good, some not so good. But finally, for the first time, I wasn't thinking that I was going to spend my whole life alone. There was hope. It was like, wow, this is going to be okay. And in fact, there's a really cool moment with my family kind of coming to terms with things. A good friend of mine from high school called me up one time. Now she's a lesbian, and asked me if I'd consider being her sperm donor. So I was like, wow, all that time that I thought there was no chance of ever having a family or being a part of someone's life like that, there we go, it was possible. So my dad came up. I was going to go visit with a boyfriend of mine. We were going to meet up at a hotel and then the next day have dinner with my friend from high school. And my dad said, well, there goes my gay son off to be with his boyfriend to see his high school lesbian girlfriend and talk about making a baby. Yeah, and he laughed about it. We never thought that my dad would be this really gay-friendly guy, but there he was dealing with it. It wasn't such a big deal. So all that stuff that I was nervous about and that was a problem when I was younger just started to go away. It really got better. Like, remember when I told you they made fun of me for a Spanish class? Well, I really loved language, and I got good at it. So I ended up going to France and Germany and having all these great, I'm afraid to do some of the stuff that I really wanted to do. But look, it's not always going to be easy. Like I once had a job offer taken away from me because I had no problem saying that that man over there was my partner. And that was enough for them to rescind the job. It sucks. Even when you get older, you have some life experience, you can have your heart broken. You're going to fall in love, but you're not going to be their type. It sucks, but that's life. But it's going to be more interesting. You're going to find people who care about you. So what I'm going to ask you to do right now is with this time that you probably have all to yourself because you're alone and you don't have the same kind of friends that other people do and you're not going out on dates, is find something that you really love to do. Maybe you love to do art, maybe you're into poetry, maybe you're into wildlife, whatever it is that interests you. Use this time that you have right now because you're not cool and fitting with everybody else. And just explore that interest and put all the time that you possibly can into it. Because that is what's going to let you have a really interesting life. Through that thing that you're interested in, you're going to meet some other people who have the same interests. And when you meet these people, you're going to find other people in that circle who are into you. And you're going to want to get to know them. And your life is just going to take off and go places that you never thought it would. But see, you have to show up. You have to be there for it. And it means that right now, people are bullying on you. You just got to stick through with it. I know it sucks, and I'm sorry. But trust me, if you can just get through with this, spend your time and energies in something that you love doing, life will get better. It does get much better.